So, after meandering through the conversion optimization copywriting garden, we have arrived at our final destination, which is point number 9, and it stands for must resolve negative thoughts. So, let's think about what this means and let's discuss it. So, as our hero is reading our sales page, which is on the product page, she is going through it line by line, starting from the top, working her way to the bottom. And if you don't have distractions, then that's the flow that she would follow. As that is happening, there's all of these negative, I wouldn't say negative thoughts, but I'd say all of these questions that are popping up in her mind. Some of these questions are completely irrelevant, like, oh, wait, I got to pick up Steve at 4:30 today, which is completely unrelated to our sales page, and so she would ignore those. But then there are some very specific questions that are related directly to our sales page. Some can be categorized as, very benign questions, very simplistic questions, which are probably ignored or put in the back burner. But then there are some fundamental questions as well. So as she's going through our sales page, these questions are popping up. Now, the way it works is, as with any sales pitch, if at the end of the presentation, there is a fair number of unresolved questions that are floating in her mind, do you know what she's going to do? She's going to do what every sane person does, which is defer judgment. Whenever we are confronted by a choice, a fork in the road, where we don't know if we should go left or go right, we don't just arbitrarily pick one direction. We stop and we say, I don't have, the risk is too high. I don't have all the information I need. I'm going to sleep on it and I'll come back and I'll make a decision later on. Now, the unfortunate part is that life gets in the way, and anyone who's in sales understands that once the consumer leaves the showroom, there's a very low likelihood that she'll come back. So it's really not in our interest or her interest to really leave, because then she's not satisfying the need that she's come. Remember, I'm not manipulating her. She walked into the showroom looking for a mattress or looking for a TV because she wants to make progress in her life. But if she leaves the store, then that means that there's some unresolved questions. And by the way, that's my fault as a salesperson, and also copywriters are salespeople. It's my fault because she had a question that was unresolved. I should have anticipated it. So the way we apply this whole philosophy on the product page is we work backwards. Before she even arrives into the store, we do what we call deconstruction. We go through every single line in our sales pitch and we ask ourselves, could this statement or could this feature or could this attribute lead to a negative thought? For example, I'll give you a simple example. What if we were to say that shipping is $25? Could that lead to a negative thought in the mind of the buyer? And it could, because consumers are used to not paying for shipping. So if that's a negative thought and we don't address it, then that becomes an unresolved negative thoughts. For some people, that unresolved aspect of it is fine and they'll still push through with the sale. For most people, that unresolved aspect is not fine and they will abandon the sale. So there are, and this is of course a very obvious example, there are many, many other kinds of negative thoughts that form across your sales pitch. So the way to identify them is to actually go through each of them line by line, word by word. It's that manual process, but remember, this sales pitch is being exposed to thousands of people every week, every month, every year. And so it's really in our interest to make sure that all of those negative thoughts are properly addressed on the product page itself. And if you can do that, and if you can at least keep the negative thoughts down to a very manageable number, then it's enough for the user to actually jump over the hoop and say, okay, I know almost everything that I need. I feel comfortable to take the next step. And that's what you're looking for. So, and that is the final step of our 9-point copywriting process. And if you listen to the other videos, you are ready to craft copy on product pages that improve conversion rates like crazy. Have a great day.